Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. We virtual. We back to doing it virtual. Max at his pad. I'm at my pad. I'm in my dungeon. He's in his dungeon.
I'm actually under Juan's bed. It's pretty hot up here. Hot down here.
Well, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the MJC Sports. It's draft season, of course, and we are continuing our series today. Top five series that we like to do. Today, we're going to do defensive tackles, which is a pretty special class, don't you think, Max?
No, it's not special.
I think it
It's
is.
there's special in it, and there's a lot of good in it. But I'm not like one. I like to call, like I said, I don't like to believe in magic and fairy tales and dragons and unicorns. And
I don't like dragons and unicorns either, but I like
you're
it.
the one with the purple light on, brother, not me.
Hey, that's Lakers. Lakers, baby. Lakers.
Okay, I don't see the. By the way, is that an Xbox controller next to you? You ain't gaming. Take that crap off. Throw that
Hey,
crap in the
dog.
garbage. You retired.
I'll still
Is
fuck
it
a
dusty?
motherfucker up, bro.
You cursed. Good job. Minute in.
You know I'll dust you in 2K or Madden, bro. Come on. I still got it. I still got it. It's like riding a bike. It's like riding a bike. Honestly.
Light work. Light work. We can okay, let's get back to it. I'm not talking
Okay.
about you being a bum.
All
Turn
right.
your air on. It's hot. You can't handle it. Bum.
How do you scout defensive tackles? What do you look for, Max?
Sorry, excuse me. Unfortunately, this is like, I don't think this is like breaking news or anything, but since Aaron Donald entered the NFL, there's been like a surge at the defensive tackle position. Where, we've had guys who are freaks in the past, but now it seems like every year they're just getting a little freakier.
Yeah.
Remember Jordan Davis with the Eagles, Devontae Wyatt, Kalai Kancey, for instance. And when I look for a defensive tackle, I want, it's got to be like the strongest guy on your team. He's immovable. He's disruptive. He's stout against the run and the pass. And this class has some disruptors. It has a space heater or two. It's got some projects. It's got some guys where you're like, damn, why is this guy playing this position when he really shouldn't be? And unfortunately, that's something you see in college football where they put guys like Ed Oliver played nose tackle. He's it's 6'4", 280. He's playing nose tackle because he's so strong and that explosive. But that's not who Ed Oliver is in the NFL. And that's certain guys we're going to talk about are going to be like, well, they're playing out of place. And there's a few people like, I went into this hearing a list of names. I think it'll be surprising for you that I left someone off. But I know you've seen it, but I know it was surprising. But that's what I look for, one. And I want to just say this: the top guy is in his own tier, the second guy is in his own tier, and everyone else is kind of below. For me, I don't know how you did it, how you feel, but tell me how you look for it to explain to me what you think.
Look, I look for disruption. I think, there's a certain ceiling that you need to hit for me for a pass rusher because that's where your valuable comes from is being able to rush the passer somewhat. Whether it's a move or hey, I can see athleticism, I see the disruption, whatever the case is. But that's what I look for. Of course, there's a guy in this class that does one thing I think very good, and the pass rushing is a little off. There's some guys exception to the rules like Vita Vea, but also another thing I look at is a lot of these guys aren't really finished products. You got to look at them of an aspect of it might take a year or two to blossom. I've been critical of guys like Derek Brown, who I loved coming out of the draft, but man, I feel like it took forever for him to get going. And I mean, he's earned a contract. He's getting paid, and he had a phenomenal
He owns the
year.
record for tackles by a defensive tackle for a season. I don't know if that's impressive to you, but
Yeah,
it's a
it's
record nonetheless.
it's a
But
record
no, I
nonetheless.
agree. I feel like when there's certain guys that come in, they just make a splash. Like Donald, I'm trying to think like Jalen Carter this year. Like he was like really good as a rookie. I'm
But
not trying to be a homer, but there's some guys that you should have to kind of wait on.
yeah,
It's like, the defensive. Like, what's your defensive class like? Like Gerald McCoy and Dominic and Sue were like, wow. look at these guys. They just came in the league. They kicked butt. And there's some guys like Geno Atkins who goes, the third round one?
Yeah.
It's like, where'd that guy come from? Low-key the Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald. And then there's some guys like Sheldon Richardson. Amazing rookie year, and you never hear from him again. The position's a little wonky, wouldn't you say? Yeah. It can be kind of – it's not like drafting a receiver. Let's put it like that.
They're not going to
like, oh, there's 50 good ones. Yeah.
One of the best tapes I've seen, and I think you can agree to this, is like Leonard Williams and Quinnen Williams. Both of those guys, it took a while for them to blossom. It didn't happen right away. They weren't making splash plays. They weren't getting a bunch of sacks. Like, it was kind of in the question mark, kind of like Derrick Brown. So, a lot of these guys we may be wrong on in the first year or two, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel for a couple of these guys. Like, hey, let them blossom in about 2 years or 3, and let's see how it plays out. But nonetheless, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit that like button. Comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have about any of these players. You know how we started off here, Max. We're going to do top 5 list. We'll reveal yours because it seems like you always reveal yours first. Let's take a look, okay? So,
all right.
Byron Murphy at the top, not surprising to a lot of people. But go ahead and talk about your list a little bit.
Okay, so like I said, Byron Murphy is a class of his own. This is, to me, a blue chip prospect. Let me rephrase. Not a blue chip. I mean, he's the cream of his crop, I should say. He's not a top 5, top 10 pick. He's a first rounder, for sure, first round pick. Kris Jenkins, really liked him coming out of Michigan. I think what he was asked to do and the way he had to play is being undervalued in the draft. 3, Ruke, sorry, trying my best, very much trying. Yeah. Really liked him out of Clemson. 4, Braden Fiske, who I think tore up the combine. Yeah. And lastly, Johnny Newsome out of Illinois. Really liked him but there was a lot of things I didn't like. And so, like I said, number 1, Byron Murphy's a class of his own.
Right.
I think Kris Jenkins is right now higher, like in a class of his own, over Ruke, Braden, and Johnny. Those 3 guys I look at are projects. Like, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Well, this is my list, which is very, very different. I think this is one of the position groups that we've been, pretty much, all over the place. I got Johnny Newsome 1. I got Byron Murphy 2. It's close, very close. I have them in a tier of their own. Got them in the same tier. Number 3, Michael Hall out of Ohio State. I got Ruke at 4. And I got T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas, the other guy, at number 5. All right. So we're going to be able to talk about a lot of these guys. I guess we'll start off with why we have differences at number 1, even though I have them at 2. It's not crazy. So I feel like we should get them out of the way first. Let's talk about Byron Murphy out of Texas, defensive tackle, 6 foot, 297 pounds, ran a 4.87. I mean, Max, he tore it up at the combine.
He did. Unfortunately, other people at the combine, especially from Texas, kind of stole the headline, and you break the 40 time. But Byron Murphy, man, what do I love about him? He's a little short. I think he's 6'1". He's got an amazing body. He is just ripped, muscular, just looks like a Greek god. And here's what blew me away watching the film. I knew he played with T'Vondre Sweat because, you watch the combine, you heard all the talk about, this guy's what's he going to weigh in at? I think he weighed in at 366 or something like that. But guys built like T'Vondre Sweat play what position?
Nose tackle.
Yeah. I turn on the film. I don't see him playing nose tackle. He's over a guard. Yeah. He's over. And Byron Murphy, and I'm like, wait. I thought Big Boy was
gonna eat that shit up.
Of the year. Just gonna eat it up. Yeah, eat that crap up. And I was just like, no, he doesn't. And this guy's getting double teamed. he wins in awkward positions. And what I mean by that is, I mean, he can't really stand up and do it, but you got him like this, but he doesn't move. He can still make a play when you got him on his back leg because he's so effing strong.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever get moved. He really doesn't. Double teams aren't a problem. He plays with a great pad level, and he has natural leverage because he's a little shorter. Now, you know, he's not going to be able to do some of the things like a Tavondre Sweat, a Jordan Davis, a Vita Vea are going to do because they're just massive human beings. But he has elite quickness, which I love. He can beat a guard so fast. It's kind of like the Donald, like the instant win, essentially, where you're just like, how do you block that? He has decent hands. He can rip. He'll swim past the guard. The one thing that you kind of worry about, but short his arm. He has a little shorter arms. His hands are a little raw. And a couple of times against some big, powerful linemen, I was like, oh, crap. Like, he kind of got – that's really it. But that's nitpicking. There was very few times where I saw that. So my player comp is Ed Oliver because on the shorter side, the strength, the just abruptness to him. I do think this. I think his play strength compared to Ed Oliver is a little different coming out.
Yeah.
I loved Ed coming out, but this guy is better, in my opinion.
I mean,
And maybe that's looking back at Ed and kind of knowing how his career goes. Because Ed was no, I shouldn't say he was better than Ed coming out because Ed was a top 10 pick. Everyone knew it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Ed didn't work in the NFL, and you kind of saw like the strength wasn't there.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy has that problem. I really don't think he does.
That's the thing. It's really hot and cold. I think obviously the size pops out. The good thing about it is that the film doesn't show that all the time. He's not a guy that's getting punked like constantly. Like he's 6'2",
And he's not going to play that in the NFL. He's
right.
He can only survive in a 4-3. He's a 4-3 like defensive tackle where you got another big MFer next to him because he's a little light in the butt. And that's just something you'll live with, but he makes up for it with, like I said, the abruptness, the speed, the disruption as a pass rusher, as a run defender. He runs after people. Continue. I interrupted you, but continue.
No. Yeah. Great get off. Just to point out what you're trying to say about him making these crazy plays. I put it in the clips so the audience can see it. But there's literally a clip where he's on his knees, double teamed by two guys.
But he's not getting moved.
Yeah, and but he just springs up and he makes the tackles.
Yeah.
Like
and
he's
it's just
Superman.
like that. And you have to do that as a defensive tackle. You have to be able to just hold your ground. You can't be moved.
Yeah.
And now there's different schools of thought or different ways to teach it or different ways defense tackles play. Like you watch a Michigan tackle or a Alabama, they're two gap and they're like, hey, hold them up, we'll make the play. This guy just asked to get upfield, get disruptive. That's all he's asked to do.
Yeah. And
he has to play like that because you have to have longer arms. But keep going. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're good. I think one thing that concerns me is that he's not going to be able to do that in the NFL as far as playing nose tackle, the amount that he did. He's not. The linemen are just bigger. They're stronger. He's not going to be able to do shit like that.
So why do you think let's put Tavondre Sweat? Can we just do them as a pair? They're Texas guys. You show the film once, you already kind of see them. Why do you think having that big MFer there? Why isn't he playing those? What's your honest opinion? Like let's just go into your fifth guy right now because it's just Texas. So what's up with Tavondre Sweat? Tell me. Like I don't understand it.
I just think it's where the chips lie. Like. He didn't play it a lot. It was part of the scheme a little bit. But he does one thing very fucking good, I feel like, is he stops the run, okay? And honestly, his pass rushing is not a complete zero. Now, when he runs out of gas and he's not trying hard, you can see it. Like, it's just like, what am I watching here? Like, this guy is totally out of gas. He can't push the guy at all. He's not moving him. He's just fucking putting his hands out there. Like, it's laziness.
Yeah.
And that comes from having too much weight on him. Like, he needs to lose some weight. Easier said than done.
They said his junior year he played at 340.
Right.
but I will say there was some talk about that he played way heavier than 366, but that's what he weighed in at the combine and at the pro day. But it's funny because, and me and you never really get into the off the field stuff, but I feel like I have to mention this. You could be disciplined in that aspect, but then you get a DWI, which there's no excuse. It says something to me when you can't do it right now, right? You can get a DWI the first game of the year, whatever. That still sucks. But this is the time where you're already like your draft stock's hanging. I bet he loses some draft stock. Like people had him in the second. You get a DWI, they're like, well, we can't trust him to not drink and drive. We're going to trust him to stay in shape. No, I wouldn't. That's just my level. That's my thinking. And he might be a great kid. He might be, and he just made a mistake. That's all true, but I don't know him. But that's just my thinking of, hey, when you're not supposed to mess up and you mess up, that's pretty bad. Yeah. To the stuff on the field, he's a monster, right? I agree with you. Monster of a man. There's times he just is like, I'm not getting moved. We'll just stay here. I'll just sit here with you. You're not moving me. He can just monster guards, move them around, do whatever, excuse me. But this is the thing that just blew me away, which blew me away in a negative way. And I was just like, this guy's supposed to be a first-round pick? He's so slow out of his stance sometimes. He just allows himself to get blocked. He's only a run defender. I don't think he can play. First and second down. And I'm sorry, those guys don't have the value they once had. I mean, there's still a place for them in the NFL. Hey, Detroit last year, they're like, yo, let's go get some run stoppers. We can't get gashed. But in today's NFL, you don't draft defense tackle just to stop the run. You have to draft them to have some type of talent. Now, he can do his job, but this guy's Damon Harrison 2.0 walking. And, I think he might be – I don't think he's going to be as good as him just for the discipline issues.
Yeah, and all this talk about him being like Vita Vea, I think that's out the window. I think Vita Vea is a far more better prospect.
And athletic-wise, he's not the freak of nature Vita was. Come on.
Yeah. I do not have him as a first-round prospect. I have him as 3 and 4, fourth rounder. Just because of the value.
Did the DWI do anything to you?
Yeah, most definitely. It questions his football character. Like I said, we both say it. We don't get to interview these guys ever, and we try to keep that out of it. But when it's like, dude, the biggest day of your life is 3 weeks away. You're gonna make a bunch of money. You're not supposed to freaking be smoking on the piper right now. Just
shout out to Laramie Tunsil.
Shout out to Laramie Tunsil. I'm pro all that. For the athletes, go ahead, but dude, don't drive. Don't drive. Get an Uber. You're 3 weeks away, dog. Just keep it cool. Don't
tell your stupid friend to drive. Do anything.
Yeah, just be on your best freaking behavior right now, man, and make your money in a couple weeks. But I have him at 5. I think he's too much of a dominant force against the run. Because in the NFL, if the right team drafts him on first and second down, he's gonna be a force. The offense is gonna have to account for him against the run. They're gonna be like,
would you want the Raiders to take him
that way?
Would you care if the Raiders took him in the third or fourth to help the run defense out?
I would not. I would love that. In the third, fourth round, I feel like it's extreme value. But first round, I'm sorry, I can't touch him. I cannot touch this guy, just for so many reasons. On the other hand, for Byron Murphy, I can definitely touch him in the first round. He's the first rounder for me. You were saying that your comp was
Ed Oliver.
My comp.
By the way, I refuse to comp anyone to Aaron Donald. That we don't have to do. We can stop doing that, right?
No, yeah, that's high praise, bro. I got Grady Jarrett for my comp. That's what I got.
Ooh, Grady, how big? I just want to see. I just feel like Grady's too big of a human being.
No, Grady's a little
6'1", 304. Yeah, he's about.
Yeah, he's only 1 inch bigger.
But this guy is a lot more explosive. I think he's stronger, but this guy's a lot more explosive than Grady.
Well,
and I like Grady Jarrett a lot. I like him a lot. I don't mean to disparage him.
I don't think Byron Murphy is like I was saying. I don't think Byron Murphy is going to do a lot of the shit he did in college, as far as fucking anchoring guys and playing nose tackle. And the one thing that scares me about him is as little as he is, like stature wise, and the little arms and stuff and disruptive, he really doesn't have any bend. Like as small as he is, I would like him to have a little bit more bend because there's many times where if he just showed a little bit of bend, he
But
can
I
sack the
think, but I
quarterback.
think that thing about like him falling in a position, I think that's the bend. I just think that's the bend. Like you can tell he's flexible, he's strong. Like if you're not flexible and off balance, you're gonna get pushed over in those situations where he's on his knees.
And
Like as
I
Drake said, hands on your knees, brother. Like you gotta be strong. No,
drop
sorry,
down, give me
it's a
50.
horrible joke.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
but speaking of the Raiders, you mentioned them. He gave me a little
Uh,
bit of no, but he gave me a little bit of Christian Wilkins vibes, a mini Christian Wilkins, because Christian Wilkins is a guy in the NFL that is undersized weight wise. He's 6'4", he's on the taller side, of course, but he plays really good at the fucking nose
Christian
tackle.
Wilkins is 315. Oh yeah, to be a nose tackle, he's a little undersized.
Oh yeah,
Correct. Yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying. And Christian
But I feel
Wilkins does
like,
that
but
job.
Christian Wilkins, yeah, but Christian Wilkins, they played a weird front. Like he's really not made to be there. Like you
Yeah,
put him in the 4-3 D tackle, let him be aggressive. He's going to eat. So yeah, no, I like that. I get what
yeah,
you say. But no, he's not going to play nose tackle. You play him nose tackle, he's done.
right.
But play him at a 4-3 defense tackle, have like a Fletcher Cox next to him, someone who's a monster.
Yeah, let him eat up
Like,
guards. Eat up guards.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
But first round
You want to go
grade,
to talk? Oh, sorry. What's your Tell me your range for him. First round, but where? Like middle to end?
I got 15 to 30.
That's where I'd have him too.
Yeah.
Actually, I have my big board. I can actually just tell you where I have him. Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you have him ranked?
Let's tell you. Hold on. 21 on the big board.
Yeah, not bad. Top 20 prospect. I see it. All right. Now, my guy out of Illinois, Johnny Newton, 6'1", 304. Look, dude, this guy reminds me a little bit of the not the player as far as like the
What are you gonna say?
no, like as far as like the height and weight, but I'm saying as far as the film, like dominance wise, like remembering the film of watching him. He gives me Quentin Williams vibes when I was watching him. Like just dominance almost every play. Like he's making the fucking disruption every single snap. So it was super fun. The ceiling is out of this fucking world for Johnny Newton. He dominated college. He has a great get off, nasty swim move. Uh, I feel like he's the best pass rusher out of all these guys. Uh, the ceiling is the highest. He chased down stuff like in the run game. Like I feel like this dude is sideline to sideline. It's crazy the way that this guy freaking moves. Uh, Lacks the size, just like Byron Murphy. Lacks the size, has the short arms, but I never really seen him get bullied. Like it didn't really pop up all that much. Like same thing with Byron Murphy. Like yeah, they're little, but I rarely see him getting punked. What did you see with Johnny Newton, Max?
Well, I mean, the flashes are there. Like those flashes you describe, I saw. I saw like dominance. He's quick off the snap for sure. He's flexible for a DT. You kind of talked about how you wanted Murphy to be. He's a little more flexible. But these are my big things, and I have about two or three, I would say. He's weak against the run. And when you're weak against the run, it made me worry about his power and his play strength because I saw him get moved around. Now, that's a big thing for me. And obviously, me and Juan are different in how we evaluate guys. Otherwise, we'd always have the same list. You guys would
Yeah.
be bored for content. We'd be out of jobs. But that's what worried me when I was like, man, this guy's a little light in the ass to be doing this. Like, hey, you're supposed to be immovable, bro. You're this dominant on some plays, but you're not. And then lastly, he has Andrew Wiggins syndrome. I just watched him vanish a few games. I'm like, where'd you go? Where are you? And you got to understand, Illinois is never the better team on the field. They suck.
I would just say this though. It's crazy the numbers as far as like defensive wise with him off the field. Like he is so important to that team when he's on it. Like it's a major difference. I
Yeah,
looked
and
at some
and
stats
people
with
were
that.
like, he's way too aggressive, and I'm like, right, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to be. Like, what are you gonna just sit back and be like, oh yeah, just do it?
I just
Last thing one, he doesn't have great length, just like Murphy, because he's a
right.
little short, right? What is he like 6'2",
Yeah.
6'1"?
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's as good an athlete, nearly as good an athlete as Murphy. So that's what worries me.
Yeah.
He's quick, but I don't see the monster or the immovable object.
Yeah. No, I get you. But this is why I have them in the same tier. I feel like both of these guys are undersized. They got the short arms, but they're just disruptors. But the run game, you see it at times. As much as Byron Murphy didn't show it all that much compared to Johnny Newton, you did see times where the size showed up. It wasn't many, it wasn't a lot of times, but it did show up. And another thing on Johnny, why I have him one of the biggest reasons, it's the ceiling as a pass rusher. I always look at that. I I kind of seen it with a guy like Aleem McNeil, where out of all the guys in that draft class, I feel like he had the highest ceiling as far as being a pass rusher. Because that's where you make your value. That's when you're valuable in the NFL. It's like, all right, bro, are you going to have to come off the field on third down? Like, let's just be real. That's what makes Christian Wilkins amazing. That's what makes Dexter Lawrence amazing. It's like all these guys, yeah, they're great against the run. But how are you as a pass rusher? And even if that means you're a little bit of a tweener, you know? Like, put them on the edge at times. I've seen them beat tackles. And I know the tackles are a lot better in the NFL, but I've seen them do it. I've seen the bend. And for me, like, that's freakish for me. A guy his freaking size and weight and he's bending like that, it gives me Quentin Williams vibes. So
You're out of your mind for saying that because it's nowhere near Quentin Williams. First of all, second of all, I will say, going back to my list of the guys I had, excuse me, Newton definitely has a higher ceiling than I would say even Kris Jenkins. But I just don't think there's so much work to be done. It worries me. Where Kris Jenkins, I mean, if it's okay to move on to him, I will. If you
who
got
who
a
was
couple more
your
things,
who was your comp for Johnny Newton?
oh, David Onyemata,
Gotcha. Okay, I had Sharif Floyd
please.
in college and
Okay,
Devontae Wyatt.
I used Sharif Floyd for somebody else. I can't remember who. Now that I'm thinking.
In college. But he
No,
had
Sharif Floyd
injuries.
was good. He was really
In the
good. Yeah,
NFL, he
Sharif
had a
Floyd
lot
was
of
good.
injuries. That's what made Sharif
Yeah, no,
Floyd.
but he was good. He was
Yeah.
good. No, I'm not mad about the comp.
Yeah.
I think David Onyemata he's just a really good pro. Like he's a professional 10-year NFL defensive tackle. Like you're pleasantly happy with him as your defensive tackle. To get to Kris Jenkins, guys, I think a lot of people are low on this guy. What I saw, again, a little bit on the short side. One was he like 6'2", 6'3", but again,
Six
he's
three.
light. He's got a like you expect him to be like 320, but he's 300, maybe 295.
Yeah.
What I loved about him, he's strong. He doesn't get moved. In Michigan, they made him a little. It's not like be disruptive, right? One, and I think you saw this where it was like, yo, just stand there, hold him up a little,
Yeah.
and just we'll rally to the ball. It's kind of two gapping. It's kind of what Alabama's known for, where it's like guys with Deron. You saw it with guys like Deron Payne, not Jonathan Allen so much, but Deron Payne, where it was like, yo, just stand the guy. Don't be disruptive. Don't just go. He's twitchy out of his stance. His speed and quicks when he was asked to just go, I was like, holy crap, this guy's a problem for guards. To me, he's a first of all, the name. I hate to say like the bloodlines crap, but it's true. Like this guy's made to be a defensive tackle. He can hold up against guards and centers. He's relentless, which I love. I love a good motor on defensive tackle. He's got good hands. Now, I think he definitely has to hit the NFL weight room for sure. The big con, and I'm sure you saw too, he doesn't have heavy hands. And what do I mean by heavy hands? Sometimes he's got to win with like the little wiggle instead of just the bull, or just hey, let me just claw you out of the way. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
rip, the swim. He doesn't have that in his game. What he does have, he's a high floor player. The ceiling is there. It's a pretty high ceiling too. But this guy, he'll be in the NFL for 10 years and just be good. That's
I
what I
see
saw.
him. I see him as really raw. I see him as a raw guy. There's definitely things to like. Uh, just to put a little, context around my list. Uh, Even though I have Sweat 5, really these other two guys, I would say, Kris Jenkins and Fiske, like they were
Fisk?
5A and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
5B.
So what's your big problem with Jenkins? I mean, other than being raw, like what's the big con?
I didn't really see much from him. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up my notes. Um he had a solid anchor to him. Uh Rarely gets punked. Like I didn't really see him on the floor a lot. That was a good thing. But what scares me as far as like the pass rushing ceiling is there's really no creativeness to his pass rush. Like it's just swing move. That's it. Like he doesn't really have any like counters or like, you know what, I'm just gonna bull rush you like right
But
here.
I would say what guy on that list has that?
Yeah.
The only guy I've watched that with that was Austin Booker, who was like, "Oh, when I get blocked, I have a plan B." Nobody has that. That seems to
Latu has
always be
that.
like there. Latu does too. Latu's pretty good, but even Latu, I think, is a little raw in that department. But the one thing though that you did, I feel like it's hard to do that at Michigan because the system they played, 90% of their like pressures came on blitzes. It seemed like right.
Right.
It was a slot here. It was a linebacker here. It was overload. And I'm like, when you play that style, you just can't go.
Yeah. I look, I it's not that I hated him. I didn't hate him at
No,
all.
you hated him. Say it. You hate him.
I
You hate
know.
his
I
name.
didn't
You
hate
hate
him.
his dad. You hate the whole bloodline.
I hate his whole family. Nah. I just really thought he was raw. But one another positive that I seen from him, uh, when he's double teamed, he seems to make a play. Like he makes the wow plays when he's double teamed. Had a great game against the Washington Huskies in the championship. Like I thought that was one of his best games that he played. So that was a good thing, spotlight biggest games. You show up, you show out.
Yeah.
Um,
And,
but
and he did run a 4.940. He's got long arms just to add to his
yeah,
athletic profile. He's not like he's some unathletic dude. He's pretty athletic.
I
But
think
do you
he
think
was
he's a little
ranked
light in
on
the
some
butt?
list. Some guy
Yeah,
made
the
him
the Felder's freak list. Yeah, every
right.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, where it's just like the biggest freaks. Remember that kid I showed you, the freshman? You're like, who is that guy? I'm like, that's the number one freak at South Carolina.
yeah.
Um, but
Who?
no, do you think he's a little light in the ass
Oh
to
yeah,
play
most
D-tack? Yeah. Like if he
most
put on
definitely.
15, 20 pounds, you'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, 299. Like that's just not gonna get it done. And I like that you went there because I'm definitely gonna mention that with probably our next two guys that we talk about. But who was your pro comp for Kris Jenkins?
Oh man. Diggy Zua. I can't Oza Diggy.
Oh, the guy from the Cowboys.
Yeah, Oza Odiggy
Dua.
Zua. I'm so
Yeah, Zua.
sorry. I'm
All right.
trying. I
Yeah, it's a good
practiced
one.
it so hard. And then when it came here, I was it's like I am gonna butcher this poor guy's name. But no, I just saw the small frame, a little bit light, but the explosiveness.
Mhm.
That's what I saw.
Well, kind of the same thing with you with Anyumata. Guys that's just solid and gonna have a long NFL career.
Yeah, like
Um,
no, Diggy Zua was good. He's
yeah,
he's a good player. Yeah.
I got I got Bile Nichols.
Oh, you hate him. You fucking hate him. No, put a thumbs down for that comp. No, no, no. Don't give yourself a thumbs up.
I don't know where that's coming from. Honestly, I don't know.
Did I just curse by the way?
Yeah,
I think I did.
yeah.
I broke it at
There you
let's
go.
see,
Swear
30
jar.
second,
Do
30.
we need to bring back the swear jar?
Dude, you've cussed like 100 times.
Yeah. I know.
All right, who do you want to go to next?
Let's go to Rook because I think
Yeah, I was gonna say because
Rook. We
we
have
have
both
two
at 4.
differences. Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right. Let's hit Rook. Rook
A row, row,
or
row, a
Orojo.
row, row, row. So no, it's literally row, row, row. That's how he said it. It's like
Okay.
oh, row,
Rook
row,
Oro Ro
oh,
Ro.
row, row, row.
I'm just gonna call him Big
A row,
Ruke.
row, row.
I'm just gonna call him Big Ruke. 6'4", 294 pounds, out of Clemson, ran a 4.89. Uh, what are some of the things that you liked about this guy, Max?
Well, first of all, let me tell you something I didn't like. Why the hell is this guy playing nose tackle? This guy is a disruptive person. Um, and they're just like, hey, we need you to be Dexter Lawrence on this defense. And I mean, Clemson's defense was really good. Um, but first of all, great body, muscular. Does he need to add a little bit of weight? And can he add a little bit of weight? Sure. Again, I think some of these guys want to slim down for the combine or run fast, show their freaky and shit. Because, there you go again. But, no one's ever like, damn, this guy came in light. You never hear that? No.
No.
He's got the quick and the speed. And sometimes when he just pulls the guy in front of him. Now, this guy definitely is raw. He's probably the most raw of anyone in this group.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up. I read in some of my notes. Barely learning football. Played only 2 years of high school football. Migrated from Nigeria, so not really like a long U.S. citizen. But like I seen Bull Rush.
Thank God Donald Trump didn't get that wall up to keep him out.
There you go. We would not have Ruth. But it's funny that Onyemata was one of your comps for Johnny Newton. This guy reminds me of Onyemata. A nice bull rush to him as a pass rusher, good anchor for his size. I loved his athleticism on tape. Showed bend and twist. Was really, really good at stunts. I felt like he was good at just moving on, getting that bend on those stunts a lot. And I think with him it's gonna take some time. I don't think this year we're gonna be talking about Ruth. Like we're probably gonna forget about him in for 2 years, and then that third year he's gonna be like, oh shit, like here's Ruth. Like he figured it out. Here he is.
Yeah, he just gets blocked too much. When he gets blocked, he's like, all right, I'm just gonna try to maul you, and like he has got nothing else in his game.
And we keep on bringing up like where these guys are being played. I forgot who said it. I want to say it was Chris Sims, but like he made a good point. And in college football, a lot of these guys get placed in positions that they don't necessarily need to be playing, like for their best.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I haven't even listened to him yet because I try not to listen to him until after. But I just noticed that I was like. It's kind of like a little light in the ass to be playing nose tackle. Like, what's up with that?
Right.
Like, what's up with that? Like, come on. My player comp, real quick, was Mo Hurst coming out of college. Not like, obviously not. But people forget how good that guy was until the heart stuff.
Yeah.
You want to know where he's on my big board?
Yeah. Where is he? I have him as a second to third rounder.
38. That's a little high.
That's not. Yeah, that is pretty high. That's the top 50 prospect.
Let's second rounder though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might drop him. I don't know, man. It's so hard
because I have him. I have him late second, early third. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you put him there, and then you're like, well, the draft won't play out like this. You know what I mean?
I have down here too because I have two guys actually. I had Onyemata and I had Shelby Harris. I got like Shelby.
Oh shit. Yeah, he's definitely going to take a couple years. Like I wouldn't, like you said, I'd be patient with Ruke. You take him, you kind of stash him, like, hey, learn a year, eat right, bulk up, be a man. No.
All right, let's talk about Braden Fiske, your guy on your list, and then we'll go to Michael Hall. We'll end off with Michael Hall. Okay, so tell me some things that Braden Fiske did. He's 6'3", 292, ran a 4.78 out of Florida State. Before you get into it, I just think he looks so funny on film with his short ass arms. Like he's bulky as shit. He's like a fucking there I go cussing. But like the boy is just big and wide, and then he just has like little T-Rex arms. It's just funny. It's funny looking.
Yeah. Now, my comp for him you're gonna hate because it's kind of disrespectful, but I mean, like you see the height, and you're like, oh, it's pretty good. Got a great body, right? Looks muscular as hell, like a little muscle hamster. But yeah, I mean, obviously the arms are the big concern, right? He is a freaky athlete. One, he like the wins he got. I don't know if they're going to be realistic in the NFL. He can win so fast because he's so quick and so fast. And the power to me is decent, not great, but there are just times where like in the pass game you see the power. Maybe that's more speed to power. He's able to bend because of the athlete he is, but you see the short arms. This guy might just have to come in on third down and be a pass rusher, right? Because when you have short arms and they can get to your body, you're not going to be able to be that great of a run defender unless you're something special. And this is what scares the crap out of me. Excuse me. He gets moved so much in the run game. Really gets moved. To me, he's a very very diet Geno Atkins, and I did that because this profile of athleticism and Geno Atkins had very short arms too.
Yeah.
Now, becoming a Geno Atkins is no easy feat. You know that. You know there's not many of these
That's
guys.
rare company.
But this is
Yeah, I seen it. I seen
correct.
it too. The Geno Atkins, the body, the arm length. I seen it, but the game is just not there. Like I just feel like
Correct.
Geno's on
He's
another
he's
level.
raw.
Yeah.
He's raw, man. I truly that's why I said like, yo, anyone after two is just raw project. Like you gotta like I wouldn't expect. By the way, I should have pointed this out. Ruke, Braden, even for me, Johnny, don't expect to hear much out of these guys. Like I think a guy like you, Michael Hall, he'll be better in his first year because he's more ready. He's got traits that can get him on the field. This guy, you might be like, yeah, he had 4 sacks. It's pretty good. But he's not going to be that great against the run, right? He might fall in the draft. Where did I have him? I had him pretty high. I should probably go back and redo this.
Now that you're realizing it, that's in the
44.
works though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to change some of this crap because, like, bro, first of all, anyone who's ever made a big board, you've probably hate it because you're like, oh, I don't really love that. I got to change that.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, like, I have Austin Booker at 42. Everyone else has him at 100. So whatever. This is what I like. I don't care.
Yeah. Uh, Look, I agree with you on something like the athleticism. I thought he had active hands, knows how to use them well. Uh, the main thing with Frisk, he needs to go
Fist.
somewhere. Fisk, what? My bad. Fisk, short arms, dude. T Rex, Mr. T Rex. That's what I'm gonna call him. He needs to play in space. The more space, the better. If you keep this guy in
So
a
you think like a wide nine type thing where like you should get him out? Or do you think like you want him in a wide nine? Because I mean he's definitely a 4-3 player. He's not playing on the 3-4. He's just too light in the
yeah,
ass.
yeah. You, I wouldn't mind at like that 4-5 technique kind of thing, or maybe even like a NASCAR package kind of thing. Like he just
Well, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, like he kind of remind me of Jason Babin a little, where it's like this guy he's a one trick pony. He literally is going to be disruptive in the pass game. Run game, it's a no go. I don't see it in the run game.
yeah. I thought he lacked like anchor issues at times, and as athletic as he is, he needs some work as a pass rusher. And maybe that comes back to me just being critical of these guys because, like you said, a lot of the college guys don't really know what they're doing pass rush wise. They only really have like one go to move, with the exception of the really good guys in the class. So grading them a little hard on that, but you know. I had a really hard time comping this guy to somebody. It was really, really hard. I
Yeah.
still don't like my comp. I put Kendall Reyes. Uh, he used to play for the Chargers. Old fucking player.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. I just did it because of the short arms, really, and he kind of had like the same height and weight, relatively. But I'm not all that confident in that comp. I really didn't know who to
What
comp him
about like
to.
a Corey Legit
Yeah, I
like
think
that?
Corey's a little bit he was way bigger. He
Yeah.
was a big boy.
He came out at 298 though,
There you go. Yeah, he put on
but
weight.
he didn't. Yeah, he no way he was 298 when
Yeah.
he retired or whatever wherever he is now.
But just to reiterate like how close I had this list, even though I had, Brandon at 7 technically.
Yeah, say 5B, right?
Yeah.
5A, 5B.
2 to late second, early third pick grade that I had on him. Like he's a fine player. I find value in him in the third round, second round. I wouldn't touch him in the first round. I only have 2 first rounders in my evaluation for D tackles this year. Everyone else, it's in that late second, value third round pick, kind of in that range.
And so what about your last guy, Michael Hall Jr.? What do you think, Juan? This is your boy. I had
Yeah.
him closer to 7. He's good. He's not bad.
Michael Hall Jr., 6'3", 290 pounds, out of Ohio State. I I really like this guy, bro. He gave me Maurice Hurst vibes with his, stature, active hands. I feel like he's a playmaker in the run game. Uh, I see him get bullied at times, but he's not a nose. Like same thing with what you said with a couple of these guys. Like he should not be playing nose. He's a 3 tech. Um, let him be in space. Let him use his quickness, and let him make plays in the run game. And he's gonna do some freaking things for you, bro. Because I just love the hand usage with him. He's one of the few people in this draft that I fell in love with the hands. I fell in love with the disruptive, like the way that he was using them. I just felt like he was a technician. Like he was a little bit more for
Well,
up
forgive
along
forgive
that.
me. He was a senior, right? He's been in college a while.
Let's see, how
He
old was
definitely
he?
had some. I think he's a little bit older.
No,
I'm
he's
almost
20,
certain.
20 years old. He's the youngest.
Whoa! Oh, wow. I don't know why I thought he was in college for longer, but yeah, like that. I wrote good hands.
Yeah.
I think but he went to this. Did he go to the Senior Bowl? Am I misreading that? Yeah, no, it said he went to the Senior
I
Bowl.
guess
That's why I was like,
I guess
wait,
this age is wrong on mine then.
no, it's not. 'Cause it says he's a redshirt sophomore, so maybe that's wrong. And I tried to look it up. I'm gonna
That's
look it up
weird.
again. I was like, yeah, I was like, I didn't even find anything. Maybe that's.
But I really like Michael Hall, man. I have him as my number 3 D tackle.
Yeah, no, he was at the Senior Bowl and he kicked butt. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. Yeah, no, it was him. Okay, I was confused because I was like, he's
Then
older.
yeah, then maybe I'm wrong on that age because he's definitely
No, no, he's 20.
he's
Says he's
20.
20.
Wow,
He
that's
says
crazy.
they said he's a redshirt sophomore, but he went to the Senior Bowl. So I was like, this is confusing.
Yeah.
But whatever, maybe something's wrong. He's flexible. I like him a lot. I just worry about the play strength, and he can play a little upright, and he's a little bit tweener, a little bit of a tweener
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
definitely. And I just I thought same thing with Johnny Newton. Like he just made these wow plays in the run game. It was really fun watching some of these guys this year in this draft class. I just thought it was fun film. But Michael Hall, I have him as a second to third round guy. Like all these guys to me are like in the same tier. Like it's just I liked Michael Hall a little bit better. Tavondre Sweat was the one exception as far as like I gotta put him in 5 because he's just a different type of cat, different animal, different beast.
Yeah,
But Michael Hall, Ruke, Kris Jenkins, Braden Fiske, all in the same tier. All great players, all late second to third round value guys.
I got Hall at 75 on my board. Like him, don't love him. He'll
Okay,
be a good pro in my book.
gotcha. All right. Anything else on our top 5 list? I feel like we use this time to talk about guys that we did evaluate but didn't make the list, but honorable mentions.
I got a couple, not many. Brandon Dorless from Oregon is interesting. He's got some nice traits. He's got some raw athleticism, but he's really raw,
Yeah.
really freaking raw, I would say.
Uh,
Leonard Taylor one. I know you
Miami.
watched him too. Yeah, again, kind of just a mixed bag. I didn't love him, didn't hate him.
He
I think he's
plays,
got some work to do.
yeah, a lot of these guys in the back end, like they're a lot taller and it shows up because their pad level is just not that good. I didn't like their pad level. That's a big thing with me. It's easier because a lot of the guys that we had in our top 5 are short stature guys. So you got natural leverage there. So when you're bigger, the pad level freaking matters when you're playing D tackle. Lower man wins. And some of these guys just played with a really bad pad level, bro. Dwayne Carter, as amazing as his name is, his play wasn't all that amazing. From Duke, 6'2", 302. I have him as like a fourth rounder kind of guy. I think he can be a good role player. He's a smaller type of dude. He can get upfield, pretty, decent in the pass game, but he needs to improve as a run defender. He's really just not there yet.
No, I agree with you on that one. He's raw, but maybe give him a couple years or two, and he'll get there.
Right.
There's going to be guys on this who, like you said, you're not going to hear from them for a while.
Yeah. McKinley Jackson out of Texas A&M. Same kind of deal. Just not really there yet. Small frame, weak against the run, but can develop. He needs to develop into a role guy. I want to take a little time to talk about the LSU guys, not so long, but, just to mention them, Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo, guys that are, highly touted out of high school and stuff. Like one of these guys were a 5-star athlete. Not Mekhi Wingo. Mason Smith.
Mason Smith?
Yes. Yeah. Mason Smith reminded me a little bit of Brian Breesy. Where like you see the flashes at times, but it concerns me with how much work he needs to do. Like it's all the technical stuff. Like it can easily be teached, but he has the physical tools. Like it's there. Everything is there. And it's kind of the same thing with Mekhi Wingo. He's a guy that had surgery. He missed 6 weeks, returned for the bowl game. So he was playing hurt the whole time. So I kind of graded him with a little bit of grace because his film was bad. I think he was obviously injured, and he just didn't make all that many freaking plays. What did you think of the LSU kids?
Yeah, it was just, again, a mixed bag. It kind of reminded me of guys like there's this guy from Clemson now, Xavier Thomas. He's a defense end. He was like a number 5 prospect in his class, but just never really figured it out in college. You know what I mean? There's times where you're like, ooh, that's interesting.
Right.
But I just got so many vibes of like the LSU guys like Neil Farham, who we just never heard from again. You know what I mean? We were like, ooh, this guy's good. Kind of with the UConn guy, Travis Jones. We both loved him, kicked ass. Whatever happened to him, never see him play.
Right.
And that's what I got from these guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to do it for now. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that
You
like
guys been
button.
killing it. You guys are killing it with that stuff, man. Real talk. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, man. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Make sure to join us on draft day. Day 1, April
25th.
April 25th, after my boy Max's wife's birthday. So he'll be ready to go. Probably hungover a little bit, maybe not.
Max doesn't drink because he's lame, but yeah, I appreciate that one. Appreciate you, big homie.
Don't bust a Tamandre Sweat there, buddy. All right, don't get any ideas.
Please, come on, leave him alone.
But yeah, join us for the draft, man. Join us for the first round. We'll be having live reactions, full analysis as the draft is going. Maybe a little mutt bang in there. We always get our draft day food. So come and join us, man. We're gonna have fun. Maybe join us day 2.
I thought you said like mutt bang. Like we're gonna play mutt and bang. And I was like, no, we're not doing that.
But make sure to join us for the draft, man. Follow us on all social media platforms, Max_Juancast. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Until next time, we are out. Peace.